global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello fam, welcome back to our channel. It looks like there's so much noise, so much awareness that been created on social media is beginning to pay off. You know, there's no smoke without fire. When the issue of Tunde and that issue of gunshot that was ongoing, that went on in Aso Rock, one was just wondering, what's so special about this Tunde guy that Aisha, the First Lady, should be concerned about? Well, informations are beginning to come out that there are quite a lot of money laundering going on, as authorities in the United States may have commenced large-scale investigations in the massive looting of Nigeria's treasury by members of President Muhammadu Buhari's cabal. Well, according to Point.News, sources at the United States Department, that's Department of Justice, DOJ, have said they are set to attract money laundering activities of Buhari's personal assistant and private secretary, Sabiu Tunde Yusuf. That is the senior special assistant domestic Saki Abba and Mamandwara, as well as Ismaila Isa, and of course Abubakar Mamandwara and Issa Funtua from 2016 to 2019. That's the heavy cabal I'm talking about here, in United Arab Emirates as well as the United Kingdom, the two countries that they're actually using to launder these monies. While the US is relying on her Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty, MLAT, with the UK to compile the money laundering activities of the interested persons, they also said to have invoked the Foreign Account Tax Compliance, that's FATCA, FATCA Act, an agreement entered with United Arab Emirates, UAE, to commence in the investigations. Members of the cabal are the Buhari's nephew, Mamandwara, Issa Funtua, President Buhari's personal assistant and private secretary, Sabiu Yusuf, that's this current Tunde that has been trending for a while now, and the president's former chief of staff, Abacha, the one that died months back. It don't happen. Investigations of Buhari's cabal is part of the investigations that has been conducted by the United States government over the massive looting and money laundering going on in the administration. Sources told point blank that Sabiu, that's Yusuf, that's Tunde, same Tunde, have been moving millions to London, millions to Dubai, where he alleged to have acquired choice properties, Nigerian money. However, that's why they keep borrowing and nothing to show for it. However, State Department sources who do not want to be named told point blank that activities of Sabiu, that's Tunde Yusuf, Mamandwara, Mohammed Mamandwara, and Funtuas have caught the attention of the U.S. investigators. According to sources, financial transactions done by the members of the cabal between 2016 and 2019 using banks in Nigeria, London, and Dubai have been flagged red. Properties purchased from funds suspected to have been laundered by the mentioned have been traced in Dubai and London, a source familiar with the investigation hinted. Authorities said the most troubling is cash movement linked to Sabiu Yusuf through some proxies to Dubai and London using some first-generation banks in Nigeria. According to the source, top officials of the new generation banks have helped Sabiu, that's Tunde, and others named in the laundering over $800 million, not naira, dollars. $800 million. Nigeria is bleeding. By disguising its sources in the last 5 years, small boy chopping big money, Nigerian money, looting Nigerian money. The sources said over 800 million naira has been laundered through between 2016 and 2019 by officials in Buhari's government. Most have been used to purchase choice properties in Dubai and London. Recall that Nigeria's Attorney General of Federation (AGF) Abubakar Malami and Chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) Ibrahim Magu have been under the radar of United States government over acts of corruption and right abuses in relation to the management of the Abacha loot. Malami, Magu, and other members of President Muhammadu Buhari's cabinet are being processed for sanctions by the United States. While it was gathered that Malami pocketed over $250 million from the Abacha loot, Point Blank learned that the Attorney General and Kebbi State Governor Atiku Bagudu shared some part of the recovered loot, claiming that it was commission paid to negotiators. Nigeria. A case has been filed in New Jersey challenging Malami's huge amount he demanded for a commission from the Abacha repatriated loot. Pointblanknews.com can report that the U.S. has invoked the Magnitsky Act on the two government officials and several other members of Buhari's government. Oh Lord. In 2016, Congress enacted the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act, which allows the United States government to sanction foreign government officials implicated in human rights abuses anywhere in the world. A U.S. Senator Charles Grassley recently asked the United States government to withhold the repatriation of $320 million Abacha loot to Nigeria, citing President Muhammadu Buhari's refusal to cooperate with the U.S. Department of Justice to finalize a second forfeiture action against separate $100 million loot, as well as intending to return the money to an official who was involved in corruption with Abacha. He insisted that it was critical for Congress to understand what steps the U.S. government was taking before it helped to transfer millions of dollars to Nigeria to ensure that the money is not fueling more corruption and government abuses. Grassley, who also decried the lack of safeguards the monies will be used for what has been agreed upon, also tackled the Attorney General Abubakar Malami and EFCC Acting Chairman Ibrahim Magu, saying under their guidance, the Buhari administration has clamped down on anyone voicing opposition to the government. The lawmaker who chairs Senate Committee on Finance stated this in a letter he wrote to Deborah Connor, who is Chief Money Laundering and Asset Recovery Section of the Department of Justice (DOJ), the U.S. on April 1, 2020. The senator's action was in light of a report by Bloomberg on the U.S. government's resistance to a plan by the Nigerian government to transfer over $110 million to Mr. Bagudu from money stolen from Nigerian treasury by the late dictator Abacha. Sources at the U.S. Congress told PointBlankNews.com that a bipartisan committee is under serious considerations to consider reports of fraud and gross abuse of power and human rights brought against top members of Buhari's government. Now, there's no smoke without fire. Some months back, some weeks back, thereabout, senior special assistant, media person of President Muhammadu Buhari, I'm talking about Shehu Garba, raised an alarm that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is trying to draw allies against, work against the Nigerian allies, that's the United States, UK, and all that. Well, it looks like some of them are beginning to come up. This particular issue, this has been ongoing. The issue of Abacha, all this news was gotten from Point Blank. Point Blank has quite exclusive right over this particular news. Now, what I noticed is the fact that during the first tranche of Abacha's loot, it was still the same humanitarian minister. Then she was still fresh in this whole activity. When she came into the scene, she said that she gave out the first batch of the Abacha. She said that list of names were given and the monies were disbursed. Nigerians started screaming on social media. I didn't get, no one got. So who did you give it to? It was quickly accounted for. How they did it, God knows how. Now, and I also remember that Malami also talked about the issue of it being an asset, the loot being an asset. And, you know, a lot of big guys in social media, a lot of Nigerian politicians were like, once it turns to an asset, the money is about to be legalized and giving some nice name. When it will be moved, no one would know. You know, I started suspecting foul play when this Tunde became an issue. Aisha Buhari does not always make noise over riffraffs. I've watched Aisha's noise whenever she's angry, whenever something is about to go down, and she start making noise for Nigerians to hear. Go and check the person she's ranting over. Go and check. Maybe there's heavy looting, either one way or the other. It is not. There's no benefit for her or something. I don't know, but she's always screaming. And if you check properly, you'll find out that something heavy went wrong. Same thing at the early stage when she first had that issue with the Cabal. There was Funtua in the picture. There was Abacha, the late Abacha in the picture, and we got to find out so many things then that they were about to buy a distressed bank, which was almost at a giveaway. So many dirty deals. You know, Nigerians keep seeing it. They keep borrowing. They want to. You can imagine a humanitarian minister is spending 100 and how many millions every day to feed school children that are at home. And the matter will just die a natural death. And yet there are no monies. They're still borrowing. They say they want to borrow for this. There's nothing to show for the accountability. See, it is showing. It's showing. The United States are beginning to look. Based on information reaching us by point blank, we are seeing it. Even the world can see. How can you keep borrowing? They keep giving you. There's nothing to show. And somebody will protest, you arrest. But let's just feel one or two persons here and then we'll wrap it up, because honestly, if we can go on and on over this, let's just take one or two comments over this. This is serious. The FBI will definitely work on it, even if it will take time to unravel mysteries. However, it is quite shameful for the Nigerian government led by President Muhammad Buhari. Don't forget, he is Mr. Integrity and he has been fighting corruption. But that's where we're going to wrap it up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you have not already done so, and stay tuned for more updates. Let's meet in our comment section. What's your take on this? Do you think that the US is just indicting, or do you honestly think that something really went down? I feel that there was a reason why Tunde came into the picture. There was a reason why they wanted that young man out of the picture, and so there's a reason also why the ADC of Aisha Buhari, who seemed to have known so much from the beginning inception of this government since in Aso Rock, was transferred. But let's meet in our comment section. Let's interact. What's your take on this? Don't forget. Have a nice time.